underground, whisper what's said. They crawl through prophets, coiling the word. Truth tastes like venom, holy and blood. Underground thrones, eyes made of flame. They don't say mercy, they don't say name. I saw the crown, I felt the sting. Voices said bow, I couldn't sing. 6 wings above me, scales below. Holy fear in a burning glow. Touch my mouth, burn me clean. Call it God, call it unseen. If this is grace, I'm marked and bound, sanctified underground. Temple shaking, smoke in the air. Covered faces, nobody cares. Dragons in myth, watchers in stone. Old gods wearing heaven's throne. They say chosen, I say scarred. Every vision hits too hard. Woe is me, I've seen too much. Purified by a violent touch. 6 wings above me, scales below. Truth injected, forced to know. Holy words cut like knives, burned alive to stay alive. If this is one, why does it wound? Sanctified too soon. Coal on my lips, fire in my veins. Washed of sin but left insane. If angels bite and dragons kneel, tell me what is fake or real. 6 wings above me, scales below. No escape from what I know. Call it glory, call it sound. Heaven's claws in sacred ground. If this is God, I stand condemned, sanctified, never end.
Well, Jiva's great and all, but no offense to anybody on this call, I was most impressed with Otto and his knowledge of psychotronic weaponry.
That was a hobby of mine years ago.
How do you make that a hobby? See, we gotta talk. You and I, we gotta talk, brother.
I was fascinated with it back in like the late '80s, early '90s. I studied a lot on it. The guy that had the X-rays taken of that implant in his brain. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
The big thing about that, and trying to get it removed from his head, the RCMP experiments and stuff like that. And I was more of an occultist then, and guys like, Are You Serious? That Tori's working with now. And guys like Bill Laswell and Bill Breeze from the OTO were working on using they had like a musical. They did music, and they would like do these weird subsonics and stuff to try and weird flashing lights to try to like do things to the audience and stuff like that. I don't think they knew exactly what they were doing.
The Russians did a thing like that, and they put an entire audience to sleep.
Yeah. When I did
that?
Yeah, all kinds of fascinating. They were working on one thing where they were pulsed microwaves. Apparently, is a big tool. And originally, they were trying to have a system where they could beam a voice into your head.
Yes.
So that if you were like a spy somewhere, it was considered to be the perfect form of communication. They could give you your instructions and no one could overhear. But when people's heads started exploding, they kind of
tumors. People started using tumors.
Yeah.
So so they killed the microwave program because the first target individual, the first person. So you guys remember Charles Whitman, right?
Right.
The clock tower shooter. University of Texas. So he had complained of hearing voices, and in his autopsy, a tumor was found. So the corrupt feds there, they went from using ionizing radiation to non-ionizing radiation because that was a telltale sign. That someone's brain was being manipulated by microwave.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
and you can tie this into the whole UFO phenomenon too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, what you talked about with the microwave and the LSD. Yeah, that's the CIA and K. Oshrat right there. Too bad the NSA has taken over it, but yeah, I mean you're basically my predecessor in this topic, and we've got to talk. We've got to do some shows.
We should do a show sometime. Yeah, psychotronics.
Sure.
Yes. I started my platform. I mean, when I was targeted, when they were beaming me with voices, I got very active. I got very loud. I got proactive. I went out. I made flyers. I collected YouTube videos. Made a channel. I was talking to everybody in town till I ran across a guy who was like, "Hey, that's a unique story. How do you feel about telling your story on the radio?" I was like, "Hey, yeah, that's great." So he was so impressed with the first interview, he had to come on for a second interview. And basically everyone at the radio station there in that town, they were like, "Hey, you want a radio show?" I was like,
"Nice.
Yes, absolutely." So that was my start.
Wow.
It was talking about this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
So
nice.
Naroki showed up, dude. We got the Navajo, we got the indigenous dude that from Canada. You missed it, Naroki, earlier because
welcome in, Carter.
Hi.
Naroki, we had Tan on, and he was actually up there in your neck of the woods going to a barbecue at a resort in the middle of the winter.
Did he say which one?
Yeah, he actually did. Let me see if I can. Have you, Bob Dub, Otto? Have you met Naroki yet?
You've met you once before, Naroki. Hey.
Hi. I think your voice sounds familiar.
Naroki, this is Otto Excelsior. Bob Dub. You met V. Don't worry about him. And then Mark Edworthy.
The
man with a tie.
And
He looks sharp.
He distracted me. Now, no, not Naroki did. I forgot where I was going. I was going to look at something.
Yeah, the resort that the guy went to.
Yeah, Blue Ridge Mountain.
I have heard of it. I don't know exactly where it is, but I have heard of it.
I've heard that's where all the cannibalism in Canada takes place. Like, is that true?
I have no idea. There is. This is one of those little things that that people generally outside of Alberta don't know. There is one mountain in the Rockies. For whatever reason, it is never snow covered. And all sorts of weird goddamn stuff happens around. I can't remember what the name of it is right off the bat, but you can like literally see this mountain. I think you can even see it from Calgary. It's like even in the dead of middle of winter, it's like it's never snow covered, right? And like all sorts of weird stuff. If it's anywhere near there, then maybe he's true. But I have heard of that particular resort. Yeah,
Very steep and very windy. It wouldn't have much snow on it.
it could be. It could be. I would have to actually go out and have a look at it. I can't remember what the name of the mountain is. You can see it from Calgary, though. It just like even in the middle of winter, it just kind of stands out as this black peak in the middle of all the snow-covered peaks out there.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Naroki, we posed a question here earlier. If there was a ethnicity that you could just cannibalize, who would it be? Who would you eat?
I'll start this out first to kind of lead you in the right direction. I said Oriental people would be my number one choice. If I went cannibal and started eating humans, I would choose Oriental people because like
that is a question that I haven't even thought of.
And for good reason.
That's like asking me if I could pick a different color of mustard, what color would that mustard color be? And I'm like, I have no idea.
Whatever, dude. I mean, there's a difference between the color of mustard and cannibalism. God,
the only thing I know about cannibalism that I've in my immense curiosity to find stuff out. One of the Rockefellers disappeared in the northern jungles of the Amazon back in the 70s. And it was an area famous for cannibals, but there was a couple of, what the hell do they call them? People who study, anthropologists who did this research into this one tribe. And out of the blue, there was this one white guy, and he bore a very strong resemblance to this missing Rockefeller, although they never actually got the chance to ask him anything. But I mean, yeah, this particular tribe was noted for its cannibalism, and there's still areas deep in the Amazon rainforest where the natives will still eat people.
Mm-hmm.
From time to time.
New Guinea too.
Yeah, and New Guinea as well.
I
Although it's generally frowned upon, because even in the deepest, darkest parts of Africa, where they have actually, or South America, like even in those parts of, even the really isolated parts of the world, which aren't very many anymore, but they're still out there. They have heard of, like you'll still run into them, and they'll be doing stuff like wearing T-shirts and stuff like that, which means that they've been trading with the tribes around them.
mm-hmm.
And they've heard of some of the stuff that's going on. It's kind of like second, third, and fourth hand information, but they know, for instance, that they know that the world's a lot bigger than what they realize. Like even in those really isolated parts of the world where there's tribes, like
Far beyond the mountains, where the cold wind knows my name, Stone remembers footsteps, fire answers flame. Through the passage opening between the dark and dawn, I heard the silence breathing before the light was born. The wind spoke in the morning, the night refused to flee. I saw what stands above us and what waits underneath. Six wings above me, burning white and gold. Scales below me, ancient, dark and old. Touch my mouth with fire, mark me where I stand. If this is holy order,
almost with no contact at all with at the outside world. They know, like, you'll catch them wearing T-shirts and like they will still have heard stuff.
That's so weird. I actually I like reading about all of it when it comes to that, because I think I had a conversation with someone. I can't remember who it was, but like they have islands that are actually secluded from the rest of the world where you're not even allowed to fly over them because there's cannibals on it.
Yeah. I was
Well,
just
there's an
thinking.
island off the coast of
North Sentinel. North Sentinel
North Sentinel.
Island.
Yeah, North Sentinel. Yeah, you end up. A bunch of fishermen got shipwrecked there. They didn't survive long.
You gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Nancy wants to come back, and I made sure this time B is not gonna be here. It's because for one thing, Nancy is freaking amazing, dude. Like in a crazy,
Tonight.
yeah, in a crazy way. She's
in the pin last night. So.
yeah. She said she'd be willing to come back in after that horrible incident we had with her and B. He would be living in a house filled with ghosts. That's what England is so full of. It's like haunted spots. How many haunted residences have you lived in, Mark?
Don't know. According to my mother, the family place is meant to be haunted.
See, that's all I'm saying, dude. You gotta love England, dude. You know what I mean? Everybody believes in ghosts. The older ones, I mean. Well, you know what I mean? Like the older generations before us. Like you tell them there ain't no such thing as ghosts.
You believe the evidence of your senses, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the question is not how many haunted houses have you lived in, but how many houses have you lived in where you've actually experienced a haunting or experienced something that suggests that there might have been something there.
Oh, he's getting quiet again. He's afraid of ghosts. He gets real scared.
It's like behind him, that skeletal hand.
Yeah. He almost had a heart attack when I told him about the Church of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And then I proved it to him. I showed him the video of when they walk in and they walk up to the altar, you know, and they turn the camera and looked, and there's Shakespeare's freaking altar sitting right there, man. I remember that was the first time we started talking about that, me and him.
Okay.
You remember that?
I can remember the video. No.
So, Mark, can you think of any hauntings you've seen or been in, or anything you had happen to you?
No, nothing that I would put down to hauntings. No doubt, people with a bit more imagination probably would, but no. Again, me being skeptical.
Now, you said your mom believed in it.
Yeah. There was a story about what was it? The buildings were built in 1930s, and I think end of World War II. Somebody's meant to have hanged themselves, or a woman was meant to have hanged herself in the building. And she swears, I put it just down to wind creaking or something. But she swears that she could hear some old woman. She claimed.
My sister's like that though, too. My little sister. She's like, I had to explain to her because I've actually talked to people who've been into like paranormal and stuff and done research into it and everything, and like she doesn't want to believe the whole thing about orbs. You know what I mean? It's like most of the people who are even in the paranormal gave up on the whole orb thing because it's usually like particles in the air floating around, you know.
Orbs are so 1998, Roger. Nobody
Yeah.
does orbs anymore.
I agree. It's like whatever, dude. You know, freaking like, come on, man, seriously.
So George Adamski. Whoosh.
Yeah, and then UFOs, like ufologists are even like coming out with like these weird orbs that float in the sky, and they have a funny ship in it that resembles, you know, like Battlestar Galactica. Really close resemblance to Battlestar Galactica, and it's right there in that little bitty orb floating up in the sky. I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. CGI.
I think sometimes I remember reading a story a long time ago about ghosts, and it was an interesting. I forget when it was written, but the idea was that this person was in this room, and he saw a ghost, but the ghost was like this person from like centuries before. But meanwhile, the person centuries before thought that the spirit had visited him. They both thought the other one was a ghost, but it was more like a time slip. And the idea that ghosts aren't so much as the spirits of departed people, as just people going about their lives, but that you're just catching a glimpse of it. It's breaking through the veil of time.
Yeah.
A little bit.
That's the stuff I love. I love that stuff.
So maybe it's time travel. I know
the thing that the easiest thing I've been able to debunk on those situations is slamming doors. And that's about it. A lot of the other ones get a little bit more complicated. Like whenever you hear slamming doors, it usually has something to do with another door in different areas of the house opening and closing, and people think that that's crazy, but it's not. Like the air pressure in a room is just really it's amazing, to be honest. Like my sister used to have an apartment where the upstairs doors would slam shut on their own, and I found out that if you opened up the back door downstairs, it would actually cause air pressure that would cause one of those doors to slam shut. It wasn't always the same one, but it was always one of those 3 or 4 doors, and it was all caused because of another door in a different part of the house altogether. That's the creepiest part too. Like, I mean, I've been able to, you know, let things slide, but I've heard the footstep thing, you know, and that's there's a creep factor there, you know what I mean? Because like you said, man, I mean, and that's what happened to me too. Like, you go and you look, and there is absolutely no way of explaining that whatsoever. When I seen it, every door was closed. There was no explanation for it. Everything in that area was shut off. The lights were off. Nothing. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if somebody was trying to pull a prank on me, I would figure they would at least have the lights on so they could see what they were doing. You know?
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. It does something to it. Just sends chills up the back of your neck. For me, it does. I mean, I'm not like Mark. I don't believe in ghosts and stuff. I love a ghost story. I love it. But Mark, he gets all scared and stuff. He won't.
Yeah, sure.
He gets all nervous.
More ghosts per square inch.
You notice he's been quiet this whole time. He doesn't.
Druidic ghost still bopping about there.
I never fit the mold you sold. Never did what I was told. You chanted loud, you chanted proud. I hear the lie inside the crowd. You clap along, you're not on cue. I don't need a script like you. I saw the flame, I saw the trap, so I stepped down. Didn't clap. I'm outside the line. Don't need your sign. Don't need your rules. Don't need your time. I'm outside the line. Say it again. I'd rather stand alone than blend in with them.
freaking like everybody knows your flavor about 15 minutes into the video. Shit.
No lie.
No argument.
Actually, 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah. Yeah, we it looks like we're good to go. I got it all ready to go. I put that background on there for the stream so that you guys can see it. It's in the thing. I'll change that out later on, but you see that?
I'm looking at the YouTube stream and got window within the window within the window. Modal box within the modal box. Yeah, I can sort of see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I can do is I can. Yeah, it's right there. It's the background for the Jitsi run. I don't know if you guys can see that or not.
Only not. Oh, actually, yeah, you can. Quite subtle.
It's on the live stream, so it's good to go. That's all that's important. Now I have to figure out how to unpin myself. There we go. Hide self from view. That way, freaking because I hate that OBS signal being up there all the time. So yeah.
By.
But yeah, I think we did quite a bit of good stuff this year, to be honest, with you on the shows. Even like whenever I did Wonderful World of Weirdness this year, I did majority of it on my own. But like I was able to get through a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do. Everybody keeps bitching on there though that I'm not showing the short little videos of ghosts and UFOs. I finally got tired of it. I told them, I was like, no, we're still putting good stuff on there. It's just now we have people actually talking about it rather than just, pictures and videos of UFOs and shit. It's like I'm really amazed with all that, like how many people are just trendies. You know what I mean? They don't really care about UFOs or ufology or paranormal. They just want to see UFOs.
Well, Wonderful World
at the moment, yeah.
Weirdness. You got to show me that stuff.
Oh.
And by the way, we had talked, long after I've put my show on hiatus. But Roger, I realized with my autistic ways, someone pointed out to me that I don't know that much about you, because I never got around to interviewing you.
Oh my goodness, you don't know.
We work so well together. Just my autism, at least, I just go with the flow and do things.
Well, I mean, you know about as much about me than what freaking most people know about me. Only ones that really know much about me really is on here is Mark and Ann. Sonia wants to get with me, but I don't give her my number.
We've worked with you for what?
3 years.
3 years now? 3 years, yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know you were my direct competition.
No, you're not. I don't have competition. You see what I mean? I've never competed with anybody on the internet whatsoever. Ever.
All right.
You know what happens when you stop competing with other people? You come up with great content, dude. Like freaking I've met some of the craziest freaking people doing this shit.
Source your magic.
Mm-hmm. And right there, Mark Edworthy is the craziest man you'll ever meet, dude.
I'm the most sanest person I know.
That's true.
Allegedly.
That's true. Freaking now, Dan is probably the sanest one out of all of us, to be honest.
He has his moments.
Well, he just he pretends like he's the most sanest out of us. I should say that. That would be a proper way of saying it. Now, what I could do is I could bring back the New York thing, but I'm gonna drop it down to a smaller view.
Stick in the corner or something.
Transform it to where it fits the screen, and then make it smaller.
Oh, Otto, hi.
Hello.
Transform.
Didn't mean to crash in on anything.
Hey, Otto, welcome.
Hey, it's Otto.
Yeah,
Happy New Year, everybody, or almost New Year, depending on what side of the timeline you're on.
Mm-hmm. Now be careful. B is here, so
So
you know how it's gonna go from this point.
as Charlie Chan used to say.
He started getting all crazy and perverted a little while ago, talking about sexy talk and shit.
This is a live stream on YouTube, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Aren't there rules?
I wasn't the one that put on
Aren't
strict.
there like AI monitoring every word with a 2-second delay?
Mm-hmm. Well, see, the good thing about this is that the audio is turned off. And that's
YouTube AI. We love you, really. don't ban us. Don't ban us.
oh, hell, YouTube. I, for one, would like to welcome our new AI masters and overlords.
The overlords.
I ferret out human resistance.
Yeah, I was thinking more on the lines of overlords. I like that. I'm gonna use that as my. There it is. Okay. It took a long time for it to finally do it. Okay, so we have the chat on the right hand side, and then the event on the left hand side. So
I'll take your word for it. I'm just in the Jitsi.
hold on a minute. Now I could share my avatar, but now I've got to figure out how to unhide myself in here again. Cause see, I keep doing that OBS shit, and every time I do the OBS, it does the emblem, you know what I mean, where it shows OBS.
Right.
Or the little round free corner zone.
Yeah, there we go. So I can actually put that inside of here on my OBS to where you guys can watch it from here. Get that
I must step away for a moment. Excuse me.
Certainly.
Get that set up.
So did everybody go through what they were doing for New Year's?
For me, I had to go down and get freaking crackers because they want to apparently make ham and beans with crackers.
Interesting.
I was like, I told somebody at the grocery store, I was like, who needs freaking to get drunk on New Year's Eve when you have relatives that want to eat ham and beans for Christmas morning?
Well, you've got to have crackers. I mean, that's the traditional New Year's feast. I thought everybody knew that.
Well, with ham and beans, of course, yeah. That's no brainer. You got to do that. So.
All through America. Although bacon, I'm not a big fan of pork, but I can always go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to think of as a traditional sort of New Year's meal in the UK, but there isn't.
You kill the animals that you can't feed over the winter.
Yeah.
In the fall. And so in the fall and winter, you tend to have more pork product. Pigs were always a great source of protein under those sorts of conditions.
Okay, there we go. I got it set up. There it is. I had to get rid of that background is what it was. See that cool freaking...
Okay, yeah, you've got a screen.
Look at that.
Oh, nice.
Look at that. We're all professional and shit now.
Very groovy.
Before long, I'll be a producer. I was telling,
So that picture on the one side, is that all of our fans outside the studio, outside of your studio?
Yes, that's we're inside
Looking
that.
into the windows to see where, you know, you're just sitting there with your microphone and your pro studio.
You should have seen it earlier, man. I had dancers out there dancing to my music and stuff. It was really cool. V got all horny and stuff. V got all horny and stuff. He said he swore up and down it was like stripper dancing and shit, stripper music. He apparently knows like alternative words, keywords. Pervert.
Well.
Well, I've just noticed something on the YouTube. Then your own box within a box is reversed. It's
Oh
mirrored.
yeah, I forgot to do that.
Yeah.
I need to do the settings on here and mirror. Good call. Good call. That is
This
true.
Video production in action. Ladies
There
and
we
gentlemen.
go. Actually, I
You can find
did.
this on any other channel on the internet.
We move the pieces, you move the crowds. We write the rules, you scream them loud. Numbers over names, that's how it's done. You call it life, we call it funds. You feel the pressure in your veins. We call it order, you call it change. You feel watched, we feel secure. You play it true, we sell the cure. Quiet hand on the world so tight. No blood in the streets tonight. You say balance, I say lie. You say survive, I say why. Count me out, mark me dead. I won't kneel to the quiet hand. We see the fear, you take the bait. You line up calm while we decide fate. Screens go blue, needles bite. You sign away another night. You say trust, I hear control. You take the body, take the soul. You call it safety, call it clean. I call it lost, dressed up in green. Quiet hand on the world's throat tight. Now blood in the streets tonight. You say progress, I say cage. You say peace, I see a state. I won't fade, I won't be scared. I won't kneel to the quiet hand. Steel and flesh, coat and bone. You want a hive, I want my own. If this is the future you planned, I'll burn the blueprint with my hands. Final, iron, loud demand. You can't own a thinking man. Cut the feed, break the plan. No grit, no kings, no quiet hand.
That's actually the way it's supposed to look right there. I was supposed to take it. I had it on mirror, and because usually it does that weird thing on Teams, so I have to hit the mirror thing. But this time I didn't have to. So let me double check, make sure.
Nice.
Yeah, there we go. We are good to go. So, what about you, Otto? Anything good happened to you this year?
Well, I'm still here, so that's a good thing. And came close a few times, but here I be. Just thinking about I'm sitting here in my driveway enjoying some wonderful tobacco I get from Kendall, Garworth and Hogarth tobacconists there. A wonderful, wonderful blend that I enjoy. Watching all the drunks and the cops out on the road and congratulating myself that I'm sitting here nice and warm and toasty. And just got a text from a friend of mine who wants me to watch his kids for a few hours tonight. So I might wind up going out and for my sins of toasting in the new year with water, or Adam's Ale, we used to call it. It's like, well, I don't want to leave him in the lurch when he has to go out and do something on a night like this. So I'll probably wind up doing some babysitting for a couple of hours later.
All right, I'm back. And
better than ever.
That Otto is a grown man who babysits?
Yeah. I dog sit, babysit. Well, they're not really babies, but just a couple of kids that are old enough to take care of themselves, but not so old you want to leave them in the house. And I've known them since they were born. So I'm Uncle Marshall there. They've known me for, all their lives. And so it's just like I come over, they barely notice that I'm there most of the time. So, he goes out for a couple hours, comes back. It's like they usually don't even interrupt what they're doing, which is increasingly electronic these days with kids.
Like, they have a good time occupying themselves. Yeah.
Well, I was looking at some of these things because when I'm watching these kids grow up, and I'm like, I'm like, oh my God, all these electronics are going to ruin them, and especially in that their household is always very electronic. But he and she always kept a really close eye on their electronic use, and when I would look at what they were doing, these things were they seemed like pretty educational games. They had to do with matching colors, spelling, identifying shapes, and I'm like, this is exactly what you'd get in a kindergarten or something. I didn't see anything that wasn't really helpful, and they both grown up to be pretty smart kids from what I've seen so far. Cross my fingers. You don't know till they, you don't know how everyone is going to turn out till they hit 65, in my opinion. You got till then, and by then you're pretty set.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I know growing up myself, my dad had a computer. He refused to let me have one. He refused to let me touch his. So, when I became an adult, really when I moved out, which is long before I became an adult, I had to get my own stuff, and it's like, yeah, you try to keep me away from it. That makes me the worst internet abuser of all time now. I'm on social networks. I'm on dating sites. I'm meeting girls every weekend. I'm watching Flash cartoons all day.
I think their attitude was basically, this is now pretty much a component of daily life. That might change, it might not, but in the meantime, you have to deal with what there is. So better to give them an understanding. And I remember one time when he had gotten a new laptop in the mail, and he and I are sitting and looking at it, and we're trying to figure out how to turn it on. And his daughter, this was a while ago, but she must have been 7 or 8, just comes right up and then just pushes the button and turns it on. And looks at us, and we just look at each other, and it's like, he's like, got one just like that in my class. That's how you do it. It's like, we've never seen the model before, so we're like, how does it die?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, we have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I've taught in the past on mainly adult education, and I've been lucky. I was brought up in the 80s, so I was had my first machine when I was something like 8 to 9 years old. Back in the 80s, era, long before anything like the internet. Back in those days. But I don't know. depends on the individual. I've my experience from end user support and also educational support. I've seen 60-year-olds handle computers better than some teenagers.
Well,
And vice versa.
It varies from person to person, certainly. It's interesting you talk about when you came to the internet, because I got onto the internet when I was in my, really in my early 30s.
Good lord.
And I immediately gravitated to some of the weirder Discordian kind of websites. You can still run into some Discordians. I'm actually acquainted with Saint Mungo, who actually ran for governor of Louisiana at one point. Well, he lost, and we kind of lost touch after that. But we used to write each other regularly, like paper letters kind of stuff. That's how far long ago this was.
Yeah,
But,
I'm gonna
there-
really quickly.
there's
Dates are overrated. Online, they're overrated. So don't feel bad about that.
Come on,
There
Dave.
was a really
Mine's
great
still limited.
website though from back then. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. It's called Deoxy,
Yep.
DEOXY.org, Deoxy.org, run by this guy named Dimitri, and that was really a great resource for psychedelic information.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you guys ever visited it. I don't even know if it's still around. I think the last time I checked, it was on the Wayback Machine or something.
Psychedelic. I mean, you got what Tim Leary and you got Terrence McKenna. I studied those guys' stuff extensively.
They were still going strong back then, at least Larry was.
Well,
We're trying.
Terry McKenna, isn't he dead now?
Yeah, he
Oh yeah,
passed on.
brain tumor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
ironically.
smoking all that dope.
Oh, I was going to say it's terminal cannabis poisoning, I think, was
Yeah.
what they found. You did avoid the axe murdering stuff that brings on.
Like, because see, I found out.
Hold on, that exists.
Yeah, I had a
Oh
friend.
yeah, well sometimes just one joint, and girls will take their clothes off and dance on tables. Kids become axe murderers. It's well documented.
Good
Haven't you watched
stuff.
those movies?
Oh,
Try
you're-
Madness
you're
will tell you.
Right.
That's
Yes,
what-
yes.
There's no room for sarcasm on this show.
Irony alert.
I live in
Don't laugh at me. It'll turn you
America.
into a murderer.
Yeah. It's well known. Just one joint of the stuff.
Just one joint. You lose your mind.
I think I told you, when we were kids, we were looking for that pot. You could watch this one movie in particular. The girls would smoke a joint, and they'd immediately strip to their underwear and start dancing around. And it's like, we've been looking for that weed for years. We never ever saw a girl do that under the use of weed. It was like, where is that stuff, man?
Dude, can we talk about
The
old
is of heaven.
propaganda films really quickly? I gotta bring this up because I learned something the day before yesterday. Walt Disney made a movie about puberty, the menstrual cycle, educational sex ed video. It blew my mind because
Don't tell me it was Mickey and Minnie. Please don't tell me it was Mickey and Minnie.
No, it wasn't. But I've seen many parodies of it, and I didn't know where that came from until someone close to me told me there was a sex ed video, and I didn't watch it because why would I? But I thought it was interesting. You got the car, the I don't know what do you call them, the manslaughter videos from driving schools.
Yeah.
You got the
Blood on the asphalt.
What was it about that era that just spawned so many propaganda films? Everybody just afraid of everything, or what?
Yeah. What year was this produced?
64, I believe.
Wow.
I don't
I
know.
was expecting you to say mid 90s, early 2000s.
No,
A lot of them came out in the
I learned-
1950s. I think the films have always been trying to, these were training films. This was the new medium, and especially after World War II, there was a huge lean into the techniques of propaganda, which they called advertising. But this whole idea of shaping and molding public opinion, Madison Avenue, all that sort of thing, the man in the gray flannel suit kind of thing. So Yeah, no, I think films have always been. I think we find it more blatant and silly because it's so dated. But we might not notice the stuff that, I haven't know anyone been in the service recently, but I mean, they show you films there. Last I was aware, and I'm sure they still do now, and I'm sure they did way back. I remember what was that in the scene in the Illuminatus trilogy where they were showing the soldiers that they were recruiting for World War II, showing the horrible propaganda films of terrible things the Germans did in Belgium, or something like that. Or it might have been World War One. Yeah, it's like, oh, terrible. And one of the guys' soldiers was an American Indian. That's Native American, two white guys. And he said, why are they showing me this? He said, the Germans didn't do anything that, wasn't done to us. It's like, this is just what people do to each other. It's like, I just joined up to fight.